So Yanina, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm very very pleased because the Evoplay Entertainment is very well known for being at the forefront of the game development. I mean, for example, unveiling the first industry's 3D VR slots, or even producing the slots with video game quality graphics. But you as an expert, the marketing expert as well. What's next for the slots? And will there be any skill-based element?
So thank you so much for having me here, first of all, and thank you for this question. It's actually really exciting for us to see how the entertainment landscape changes, and especially with the lockdown and people spending more time online, we're seeing the change in taste and the change in demand of the entertaining content among our audience. But answering the question about the skill-based slots, I would say no, because that actually changes the essential part of gambling content. Everything we produce is RNG based. No skills involved in any game that we produce. Um, Being the first to produce such innovative content as 3D slots or the first in VR slots means a lot for us as the game rule changer, and we change the perception of the slots and of the products in gambling market. And the last but not least, our release product, which is Dungeon Immortal Evil. It's the 3D RPG inspired slot. So visually, it does look like a hack and slash game that might be involving any skills. However, everything you see is just, the visual cover of the game. And what we see among our players, they do enjoy spending time in game. They enjoy watching the animations. They enjoy watching in-game videos. However, they do not want any skill-based element because it actually changes gambling as an industry and the value of the products that exist here. So for this case, I would say all game providers will be using the technology, will be using the possibilities of visual design, animations, and what entertainment market has to offer. However, I do not foresee any changes in skill-based elements in the game.
hmm but I mean that's excellent answer. And but like we talk about a lot here in IO News about the millennials, and the trends, and actually, where is their focus. So, and we know that with millennials now forming the most important market, how they actually the Evoplay Entertainment respond in the term of the product, you know.
That's actually really true. As millennials right now, they take the big part in informing the perception to any product and any brand. And right now we see the actual change from brands telling how people should think about their product and their brand to how users perceive them and how users tell the brands of how they see it. So definitely millennials will be people who are setting the rules. For us, it's really challenging and exciting because they give the most insights to how our product portfolio will be developed in the next years. So first of all, that will be definitely corresponding to the way they live, to their lifestyle and their mindset. First of all, millennials, they are demanding products that will be accessible from anywhere they are located. So with the remote work and open borders, even though right now we don't see this due to lockdown, those people like to be flexible. They like to be anywhere in the world, and they like to have the access to their entertainment and to their favorite programs or apps from whenever they are located. So all the products released in gambling should be adapted to any device and be easy to access, to download, optimized for any internet connection and speed whenever they are located. Secondly, what we see is that even though millennials, they play on their own separate devices, they still want to be connected to the community. They want to share, they want to discuss, they want to be a part of a group. So we will see growing communities that are led by influencers of the industry. These are like bloggers and streamers. We do see that B2C mindset with the brand, it actually makes a difference. And um, another thing that we're seeing is that people have really similar taste if they are living in the globalized society.
Mm.
So a person located in San Francisco would have the same taste as the taste in product and demand in product as the same person based in London. So we're merging the geographical lines, and the content becomes more global rather than very specific and local. And that will definitely affect of how product roadmaps and product portfolios are being formed and being thought through throughout the year. So this is a significant change. I would say that all of the products become user-centric.
Exactly. I mean, it's excellent answer. I mean, that's the everything is changing with the million demands, and their demands are quite different, and we can see it even we know in the in as a marketing professionals, and that's actually my
Yeah,
my
that's true.
my next answer, because you know with so many game studios out there these days, I mean, it's a really saturated market. How do you play entertainment ensuring remain in the spotlight, but more from like kind of the marketing point of view? And what trends are you seeing in iGaming marketing?
Well, I'll start with trends first. Right now, what we see is that you're absolutely correct. There are so many products on market that it's not enough just to place the logo uh, inside of the game just to be recognizable and to set your own style. People remember really incredible, colorful, bright, and products that stand out. So I would say the first trend will be having no limits in your own kind of head, in the head of your product development team when it comes to product development. So right now you can mix any style, any visual element, any animation, any game format and game type if you want to succeed. There's no certain way for you to have your portfolio based on three slots in this style and four slots in additional format or theme for you to have a successful business roadmap for the year. So right now we're seeing that the market trend is standing out and having no limitations. Additionally, what I observe personally as a marketing person is that Netflix actually set a very important trend, and even though we're not in the same industry of video content, but still people start to perceive the content um, not just something using quickly, but still spending a lot of time in the app, spending a lot of time inside of the content product. So for us, what we will see is people searching for the quick win. So even though this is the to trying to win, but right now people are more interested in how the game has the certain idea and has the storyline and has the animation. So each spin is another chapter, another story for the experience of a person and the demand in immersive gaming. So I would say that the next trend that we are trying to follow and we are actually succeeding in how we approach product development is that each game is another story. You should really approach any product as a separate kind of fairy tale, we can call it, or a separate novel with different chapters, with the different storylines, and so on and so forth. Even when we look at our latest releases like Dungeon Immortal Evil that has different locations, that has different monsters that the main hero is playing against, that has loot. It's really entertaining and exciting, and each slot is different, and it brings um, different emotions and different experience the person can have. So I would say that in terms of the trends that we are trying to follow, and that any game development studio will follow in 2020 and 2021, is that uh, we are here to provide entertaining to our audience, and we're here to satisfy their demand in entertaining content, in new emotions, in new angles of how they perceive gambling, because the industry changes, and we see how it's easy to merge the lines between industry, and how it's easy to merge the lines, for example, between sports betting and gambling, and have the slot that looks like a betting project or something like that. So I would say that we are here to see how the market is changing, how the industry is changing, and to be a part of it.
Exactly. I mean, you're spot on. I mean, the industry is really changing. I mean, it's rapidly evolving, especially in the last, 3 years. I'm seeing like incredible changes, and I'm very happy to see that the conversation started, especially about the gambling stigma, and we are open to talk more about that and explain what we are about as industry. But the talking about the stigmas, I really want to quickly touch the base with you on the topic, women in the gaming. I mean, you as a very successful the woman in the gaming, I think you will really agree with me that we have to help each other in the industry. And so my question is that there are so many more women in the gaming industry than there were a few years ago. I mean, that's for sure. That's the fact. Do you think more still needs to be done to encourage diversity?
Well, first of all, we can't make, and I think we shouldn't force people to encourage the change of the angle and introducing hiring quotas to any company and to any brand, because the main idea is to any gender to be equal and to feel equal and to be respected and appreciated for your hard skills and soft skills. And I'm really thankful personally to the contribution to any woman in the industry in the last 3 or 5 years that made possible even me entering the industry. I'm coming from B2B tech company, and some time ago there was a trend in actually introducing these industries to women and showing that they actually can succeed here. So I would say that in a year or two, we'll see that these industries become more attractive and interesting to no matter will it be women or men, but for really talented people, because this industry actually needs talents and needs people who have disruptive approach to product, to innovation, to gaming mindset, and so on and so forth. So from my perspective, I am a true personality believer, and I do think that personality is more important than gender. And if the person is talented and wants to succeed in this industry, we're actually all open to teach, to learn, to out of the company, and we actually appreciate any input from any person elsewhere. And I think it's really positive to have a mix of mindsets and to see different angles and approaches both women and men can bring into the industry, into the product. However, I would not force people to a kind of ratio between women and men just because this is something that we set as a target. Because first of all, we want to bring the best talents to our product, and we will how the industry changes, because at the end of the day, right now the world landscape changes and many more industries will be introduced to the world economy, and maybe in a couple of years the change of the ratio of people moving from one industry to another and even mixing their specialities and their backgrounds by having worked for one company and then in 5 years completely changing the professional background. So I think the global trend is something that we need to keep an eye on.
So talking about the women and the equality and diversity, it still would be interested to know your opinion about do you believe that the woman brings different view on the game than men? Because we talk about more about like the skill set, and the sometimes the women can really bring different angle, but it's actually very beneficial and it's positive. So I would like to know, because you're directly involved in a game development, that if you can notice that there is some angle or the difference that the women brings on the table.
Yes, I will say that I truly believe that men and women, they are different. They are equal, but they are different. And this is how the harmony in nature works, because we see that, for example, when you look at the forest, at the landscape, at anything that is in the nature, everything is different, but there's always place for each animal species or plants or something like that. And I think that this is something that is applicable for people. We grow when we are different. We develop. We see and notice things that we might not notice by being in the pure, for example, female surrounding, and especially for gambling, for our industry. Different people have different tastes. Different people have different emotional intellect, and of course, women and men are different, and they see product differently. They see audience differently. They can analyze. They can analyze their audience. They can analyze the trend from their own perspective, and especially when we look globally at this process, it's not just about gender, it's about the age groups. Obviously, people, millennials, will see the world in a different way because they are growing in digital surrounding. So they will definitely be surprised by seeing, a black and white TV set or something like that. So I would say that we shouldn't limit ourselves to just asking women or just asking men separately. Uh, when we talk about gambling as an industry, it's always a mix of styles, it's always a mix of themes, technology, and audiences, age groups, and so on and so forth. So, yes, answering your question, I do think that it's important people in your team, asking your audience groups, no matter the gender, and don't have the pure, female environment around you just to increase the ratio of women in your team. So yeah, I think it's really important.
Yeah, and just a very, very last question on this topic, what advice would you give to the other young women who are just starting out at the industry? I mean, if you can, describe it in just few sentences, like what would be that advice?
Um, I really think that right now we're living in the world of the best possibilities. Everything is open and everything is available. Any instrument and any software you want to use for your education, to learn something new, to achieve your skills and new professional background, everything is available. Right now, any man and any woman have the possibility to obtain educational degree in any field. So many universities, so many industries that you can apply your knowledge and your skills to. So I would really advise young girls or people who just enter the industry not to limit themselves to something they know at the starting point, because there's always something to learn, to get to know about. Um, People right now are very open to sharing advice, sharing their expertise, supporting anyone who is starting the career path, because we've all been there, and each of us have faced some challenges and some difficult situations, and definitely we know that it's really hard to be on your own in that. So this is something that we need to take from millennials as a great trend to offer support, to be united, to create communities, to support each other in any field and with any advice we can have, because this is actually what helps the humanity to grow and to develop. And in long term, we'll see that we all benefit from both asking for advice and giving it.
I mean, I could not agree with you more. I mean, that was excellent advice. And, as you said, we can really learn a lot from actually the Generation Z and the millennials because, their energy and, the speed and the savviness. I mean, there's something to learn for sure. But to change a bit, to the topic, I mean, everyone in the industry is talking about the legalization of the gambling market in the Ukraine. I mean, I believe that is the hottest topic of the month. And you're the right person to talk about this because your company based in Ukraine, Kiev. So as a company, a Ukrainian company, you must be pleased that the country is finally introducing regulated gaming market. But the question I mean, it's really exciting. I mean, it's great how the industry is really exciting about it. But the question is, in your opinion, what do you see as the long-term potential and short-term challenges? Because obviously there are a lot of challenges.
Yeah, that's actually true. And being based in Kiev, we're seeing the history in making. And just yesterday, our president has signed the law. So we're about to see how the industry is coming back and developing after a long break of 10 years. Um, right now, we cannot estimate how much time it would take to develop the new rules and the new regulations of the market, because obviously, right now, everything will be built from scratch. For us as a company really based in Ukraine, it's an exciting time, and we're actually really excited to be finally presented in our country and to actually be an experts in the market, because who would know more about our own audience rather than people who are actually based here. And I think as a short-term challenge, that will be something for international companies who would like to enter the market, because when you look at the Ukrainian landscape, this country really differs. We have different traditions, we have different mindset, and in terms of local taste, you can't compare it to any country like UK or Italy. So definitely taste will differ, and for company to be able to introduce really product that would fit, that requires a lot of research and investigation. The only similar geographical, like market comparing to Ukraine would be Baltics. But when you compare Estonia, it's a really small country, and when you look at Ukraine, it's a so much bigger market. So you can't actually say that what worked in a small country would work here for people with similar landscape and similar background and similar taste. So I think that will be really interesting to see how companies really build their strategy around our regulations, rules, and tastes. For us as a company, we will be happy to see, really healthy competition among all the game providers and among operators, because this actually is an incredible opportunity, and the market is really huge. And we would like, obviously our wish is that there are the best products offered to our audience, because here we are responsible for the perception of the audience, and we're in charge of all the decisions that are made here. We already see the feedback, so no matter what product we introduce, we can go out on the street and receive the feedback immediately. So it gives us, double responsibility for everything we create and for everything we are offering, because we're a local company, and uh, we need to know our market, we need to know our audience, we need to know what products will work here. So it's really exciting and challenging at the same time, and we're looking forward for more information from our government about what are the rules and terms and conditions to enter in this market.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, with the population of more than 40 million people, I mean, Ukraine really holds a lot of potential for the gambling operators, and you, Evoplay Entertainment, I mean, you hold really like great advantage, upfront. And just
Thank you.
I would like to know what actually is I mean, the taste or the preference of the Ukrainian gamblers or the players.
Well, right now we are working and conducting the research of, first of all, what will be the main, angles of gambling in Ukraine, whether the ratio will be more for land-based or for more for online game gambling. So it's really important for us to first of all understand the audience. And right now, what we see is that Ukraine is actually integrated into European mindset really well, and the products that work for Germany and for Poland, they actually work for Ukraine as well. So the tastes are more or less the same, and we'll see how people, of course, it's not just the taste of the theme of the slot or any product, but it's also about the device, because right now we cannot say what device will be more popular. We can just see the global trend, which is 73% that are reported by our partners are coming from mobile. So we'll see how that works in Ukraine, and the first month will be testing theories, seeing how that works out, and especially for any big players in Ukraine, we need to people in Ukraine of how to perceive gambling. Because first of all, we don't have a long history of developing gambling rules and developing some gambling taste. So we will see how people perceive the product and what issues they have when they interact with the slot. So I think for any operator and for any game provider who is entering the market, the first 3 to 6 months will be about educating the audience about your product, about the rules, about the features of the game, about any animation. So I think that we will see many streaming communities growing here. We will have industry influencers, bloggers, forums, and so on and so forth, where people will be looking for information and advice. And I think in this case, we're all responsible to educate people and to give them, a fresh start and introduce them to this really entertaining industry.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's true. I mean, as you said, definitely there's gonna be, there's beginning of the creation of the kind of, the Ukrainian community, with the Twitch streamers and the streamers on other platform and the influencers, and I mean, we can already see that there is in the plan the organization of the events of the iGaming events. I mean, the Sigma is already
Yeah.
going in the full speed, the with the
Yeah.
event in the Kiev. So I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes and how it develops. And Yanina, thank you so much for this really incredible insights to the iGaming marketing, the game development, and the Ukraine situation and Ukraine the legalization of the
Thank
market.
you.
I'm very, very thankful because I think that it's gonna be very interesting for the readers, and we're gonna stay here and watch the Evoplay Entertainment developments, and I believe that you holding really great cards in the hand, and you're gonna get a
Thank you.
lot.
We really do. Yeah.
So you're
Thank
gonna
you so much. Thank you for having me here. And I'm really excited, and I hope we'll bring valuable content to your audience.
exactly. Thank you, Yanina, so much.